morning, Mid-Missouri. It is 6:30 on this Sunday morning, and we start off with an ABC 17 News storm track weather alert as all of Mid-Missouri is under a winter weather advisory. We have team coverage this morning in Jefferson City and Columbia as our crews are out monitoring the roads along with keeping up to date on what public works crews have been doing to keep you safe. But first, to start our team coverage off, I'm going to send things right over to ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray. And Sharon, we will see ice today.
Through the morning hours from west to east, we'll see that very light precipitation beginning in sleet and freezing rain, and then it'll become a bit more steady by mid to late morning. So maybe a little while yet before you encounter the ice, but nevertheless, we do expect that through the day. In fact, we have a winter weather advisory starting at 6. It's already started in our southwest counties at 6 o'clock, but most of the area it starts at 9 o'clock and has been extended until midnight for our eastern counties as we're looking at those very cold ground temperatures. And although the air temperature goes above freezing today, it's going to take a while for the surfaces to warm up. So a glazing to a tenth of an inch of ice is expected. It's not a lot, but enough to cause some slick, untreated roads and surfaces out there today. Doppler radar is pretty quiet right now. There have been a few little patches of this purple showing up, which indicates some freezing rain or sleet. I haven't heard any reports of it getting to the ground yet. So good news right now. It's still pretty dry across the area. And temperatures, the only areas above freezing are near Highway 65 near Marshall and Sedalia right now and toward Kansas City. But as that moisture increases, we are going to see this spotty precipitation becoming more solid as we head into the morning hours. And you can see there's that rain that's developing, and this will become a little bit bigger area, and pull across the area as we move into the morning hours. So expect increasing freezing rain. Temperatures will gradually warm up this morning to near freezing by noon. In fact, our western counties will be above freezing by noon, which we already are seeing. And we will see those wind chills, though, in the teens, as we do have that cold wind blowing right now, near 20 miles an hour. When I come back, I have an hour-by-hour future track to show you of the timing of this rain and freezing rain.
And to continue our team coverage this morning, we will head right out to ABC 17's Kirsty Crawford, who is monitoring how roads in Columbia are looking right now and what crews are doing. And Kirsty, public works crews were on call last night.
Boone County works crews have already been in. They tell me that they've been in since 6 o'clock this morning, so for about 30 minutes. And they say that they've already been out pre-treating those roads. They were also asking for residents who park on the curbs in their residential areas to move their cars so their trucks can get through those areas more easily and get those roads nice and treated. Columbia Public Works crews aren't coming in until 8 o'clock, but they are on call. So just in case the wintry mix does start to come down a little bit earlier in Columbia, they will be here and ready to go.
Let's take you out to ABC 17's chief videographer, Kyle Oster, who has been monitoring road preparations in Jefferson City. And Kyle, MoDOT had a crew already pre-treat roads last night, and you've kind of seen them around this morning.
That's right, Deb. Right now, I'm at the Missouri Department of Transportation, where the MoDOT has set up an emergency command center to get ready for this ice that's coming our way. Pre-treatment for the roads began last night and are continuing throughout this morning. Heavy amounts of salt are being put down to absorb any moisture as it hits the road. It's also there to give traction to any drivers out driving in these conditions as well. Right now, so far, the conditions here in Jefferson City are okay. I haven't seen any precipitation yet. But that's going to change here quite soon. MoDOT is also urging people to stay off the roads today, if at all possible. If you do have to go out and hit those roads, proceed with caution, give yourself a lot of extra time, and take it slow.
Well, here we are. We've already been dealing with these sub-freezing temperatures for the past 14 days in a row. Now we have some moisture coming in, and that's going to set the stage for the potential for that freezing rain today. We do have that winter weather advisory until midnight for a good chunk of the area. It does expire at 6 o'clock in our western counties. Up to a 1/10 inch of ice is possible today, and that could cause some hazardous travel, especially on those untreated surfaces and side roads, as we are going to see temperatures going above freezing today, but the ground is very cold, and so we'll see that freezing for a good chunk of the day. Tonight, although we do start to see that melt this afternoon, tonight with temperatures dropping below freezing again, any moisture left on roads and sidewalks will refreeze. Travel impacts from this, we do expect slick roads where they are untreated pre-treated, so you do need to use caution, not just here, but we've got this winter weather advisory for a good chunk of the area. They did, however, just cancel it for our far western counties here because of the temperatures well above freezing, but it does continue all the way into Illinois and Indiana. So here's future track. Very spotty light rain, freezing rain possible with this narrow band that's pulling to the east right now, but more likely it's going to hold off until mid to late morning. You can see how the moisture increases from the west. As temperatures do go barely above the freezing mark, we are going to see that freezing rain changing over to rain. The question is, how fast will that happen? Because the cold ground that we're seeing from the last 2 weeks of those below freezing temperatures, even though it's 34 here by noon at Versailles and Boonville, that doesn't mean that the ground temperatures will be above freezing. So although this is showing green, still watch for that freezing rain and ice possible into the afternoon and even into the evening in our eastern counties. Notice this is 6 o'clock this evening. That rain gradually ends this evening, and by 10 o'clock we're dry, and then we're going to drop to that 30 degrees tonight.
We have team coverage this morning in Jefferson City and Columbia as our crews are out monitoring the roads, along with keeping up to date with what Public Works has been doing to keep you safe. But first, to start our team coverage off, I'm going to send things right over to ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray. And Sharon, we have already started to see this rain come through.
That's right, and eventually we could see that ice forming on untreated surfaces as well as the rain is becoming more steady. Although temperatures are climbing above freezing in the western portion of our viewing area, we are seeing the potential for ice as the ground temperatures are below freezing. And you can see on Doppler radar, if you've been following this with us since this morning, we've been here since 6 covering this winter weather alert, our team coverage. You've noticed that probably the radar has become more filled in. Earlier this morning, it was just a few little spots of purple. Now we're seeing it become more steady here as the rain is becoming more steady and widespread. And that was it was expected by mid to late morning today. So with that, as that rain pulls east today, we're going to have to watch for ice. Ice potential is there, up to 1/10 of an inch of ice. That's why the winter weather advisory has been issued, and it began at 9 o'clock this morning. Now it continues until midnight east of Highway 63. It does expire at 6 in our western counties, but again, that's something to monitor because of the cold ground temperatures. The ice could linger, especially if you're traveling east. Not a great idea today.
We'll head right to ABC 17's Kirsty Crawford, who is monitoring how roads in Columbia are looking like right now. And Kirsty, you're on Providence Road, and it's probably not too bad right now.
It really isn't, Deborah, and I actually just saw MoDOT crews pass by me 30 seconds ago before you were pitching out to me. They just drove by, and unfortunately I also have been seeing a lot of cars on the road, even though crews have been telling and warning drivers to not get on the roads at all this morning, just in case once they start driving they might get caught up in that wintry mix that we are expecting. And right now a lot of that sprinkling that we've been getting off and on really hasn't done anything to the road conditions. It seems like everybody has been driving fine, but that probably has a lot to do with those roads being nice and pre-treated. Boone County Public Works crews have been in since 6 o'clock this morning. Columbia Public Works crews have been in since 8 o'clock this morning, pre-treating those roads, making sure they're somewhat safe for drivers to be on. But like I said, they are urging drivers to just not get on the roads at all this morning. And that's because of the road temperatures, just like Sharon Ray was saying. And I have the road temperature gun here to show you what it's looking like. And it shows that it's about 23 to 27 degrees. This thing keeps going between 23 and 27 degrees, but it still shows you that it's below freezing, and any type of moisture that hits these roads can easily ice over.
The rain has stopped. The roads are wet here in Jefferson City. Just in the last few minutes, I got off the phone with Jefferson City Public Works, and they tell me they are still on standby mode to call in people if conditions get any worse. Right now, they have supervisors out on the roads monitoring the temperatures of both the road and air, and both those temperatures are above freezing at the moment, so that's good news for Jefferson City drivers. Now, MoDOT has been out overnight and all morning putting salt down on areas such as the bridges you see behind me. They are hitting that bridge with salt every few minutes because bridges are one of the first areas to accumulate ice.
Since our 6 o'clock newscast, we've actually had nearly 60 additional church cancellations come in for you today. Well, you can find a full list of those closing and cancellations on our website right now at abc17news.com. You'll see it right on our homepage. Very easy to find.